ExamPrep.School. Colorado Accident and Health Insurance Producer Exam, exam code INSCO-Health2. There are 4 practice exams in this series. This video covers Practice Exam 1. The first 20 questions are free. In this video, we will be covering the following major categories for Practice Exam 1. Colorado statutes, rules and regulations common to multiple lines. Colorado statutes, rules, or regulations, pertinent to sickness and accident only. Field underwriting procedures. Other insurance concepts. Policy provisions, clauses, and riders. Social insurance. Types of policies. Let's walk through the format. I'll read each question and its choices. Let's get started. Question 1. Which definition best distinguishes an own occupation disability policy from an any occupation policy? A. Pays benefits when insured cannot perform duties of their regular occupation. B. Pays benefits when insured cannot perform duties of any occupation for which they are suited. C. Pays benefits when insured cannot perform any gainful work at all. D. Pays benefits only if insured cannot perform multiple distinct occupations. A countdown circle appears in the top right. Once it completes, the answer is revealed. You can pause at any time if you'd like longer to think. If you'd like additional practice covering more topics, see the description for our book. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is the definition that an own occupation policy pays full benefits when the insured is unable to perform the duties of their specific regular occupation, regardless of work capability in other fields. Reason B is not correct. This describes an any occupation policy rather than an own occupation policy. Reason C is not correct. This overly restricts benefits to total inability to work in any field, which aligns with strict any occupation definitions. Reason D is not correct. This option adds an extra requirement not characteristic of standard disability definitions. Question 2. Which scenario triggers presumptive disability benefits and their full payment, regardless of actual work capability? A. Total and permanent loss of sight in both eyes. B. Temporary paralysis of one limb. C. Chronic partial hearing impairment in one ear. D. Recovery from surgery with rehabilitation progress. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is the total and permanent loss of sight in both eyes, which is a classic presumptive disability trigger, entitling the insured to full benefits without waiting for qualifying under the policy's typical definition. Reason B is not correct. Temporary paralysis does not meet the permanence requirement for presumptive benefits. Reason C is not correct. Partial impairment in a single ear typically does not qualify as a presumptive trigger. Reason D is not correct. Recovery and rehabilitation do not meet the criteria for presumptive disability. Question 3. In a disability income policy, the elimination period refers to A. The time between disability onset and benefit payments start. B. The maximum duration benefits will be paid. C. The total number of benefit installments available. D. The period after which premium waivers end. The correct answer is A. The correct answer defines the elimination period as the waiting interval from the date of disability to the commencement of benefit payments. Reason B is not correct. That describes the benefit period, not the elimination period. Reason C is not correct. Benefit installment counts relate to policy limits, not the elimination waiting interval. Reason D is not correct. Premium waiver expiration does not define the elimination period. Question 4. How is a residual disability benefit typically calculated under a 501 policy? A. Percentage of lost income due to reduced work capacity. B. Fixed fraction of full disability benefit regardless of loss. C. Flat benefit after a waiting period, then ceases. D. Reimbursement of actual medical expenses incurred. The correct answer is A. The correct answer explains that residual benefits are based on the proportion of income lost when the insured returns to work at reduced capacity. Reason B is not correct. Residual benefits vary with income loss, not a fixed fraction. Reason C is not correct. This describes a limited benefit type, not residual calculation. Reason D is not correct. Medical expense reimbursement is unrelated to residual disability benefits. Question 5. A 30-year-old executive purchases a disability income policy labeled as non-cancelable. 5 years later, he learns that holders of guaranteed renewable policies in his risk class have faced premium increases and asks, which feature of his policy ensures his premiums remain unchanged? Which choice best describes the non-cancelable policy's premium guarantee? A. Insurer may not cancel the policy but may increase premiums if costs rise significantly. B. Insurer may adjust premium rates only if the insured's health status deteriorates materially. C. Insurer must maintain both coverage and original premium rates until a specified age regardless of class rate changes. D. Insurer may cancel the policy for any reason other than non-payment of premium. The correct answer is C. A non-cancelable policy guarantees that the insurer cannot cancel coverage or raise premium rates for the duration specified, typically to a given age, even if class rates change. Reason A is not correct. Describes guaranteed renewable policies, which allow rate increases for an entire risk class under specified conditions. Reason B is not correct. Non-cancelable status is not tied to individual health changes. Premiums remain fixed regardless of the insured's risk level. Reason D is not correct. Non-cancelable coverage may only be terminated for non-payment, not for any other reason. Question 6. A 45-year-old designer has a disability income policy with a 90-day elimination period and a recurrent disability provision defining recurrence within 6 months of recovery. After returning to work, she becomes disabled again 4 months later. How will her policy handle this second claim? A. A new 90-day elimination period applies because she resumed work for more than 1 month. B. Benefits resume immediately without a new elimination period since the recurrence occurred within the 6-month window. C. A 45-day elimination period applies as a prorated portion of the original waiting period. D. Benefits resume immediately only if the recurrence happens within 3 months of returning to work. The correct answer is B. Under the recurrent disability provision, if the second disability occurs within the specified 6-month period after recovery, it is treated as a continuation of the prior claim and no new elimination period applies. Reason A is not correct. The length of return to work does not trigger a new elimination period when recurrence is within the defined window. Reason C is not correct. Policies do not prorate the waiting period for recurrences. They either restart or resume benefits. Reason D is not correct. The policy's specified window is 6 months, not 3 months, so this time frame is incorrect. Question 7. Which of the following services is typically covered by a basic hospital expense policy? A. Daily hospital room and board expenses. B. Coverage for physician fees associated with surgery. C. Outpatient diagnostic imaging services. D. Long-term custodial care at home. The correct answer is A. A basic hospital expense policy provides coverage for daily room and board charges incurred during a hospital confinement. Reason B is not correct. This choice is incorrect because basic hospital policies do not include physician surgical fees. Reason C is not correct. This choice is incorrect because outpatient services are excluded from basic hospital coverage. Reason D is not correct. This choice is incorrect because custodial or home care is not covered by basic hospital policies. Question 8. Which characteristic best describes the benefit design of a basic medical surgical expense policy? A. Comprehensive coverage for outpatient prescription drugs. B. Unlimited payment for hospital room and board. C. Percentage reimbursement for all physician services. D. Predetermined benefit amounts for the listed surgical procedures. The correct answer is D. Basic medical surgical expense policies specify a schedule of surgical procedures with fixed benefit amounts rather than open-ended reimbursement. Reason A is not correct. This choice is incorrect because outpatient drug coverage is not included in basic medical surgical policies. Reason B is not correct. This choice is incorrect because basic medical surgical policies exclude unlimited room and board coverage. Reason C is not correct. This choice is incorrect because reimbursement is fixed per schedule, not a percentage of fees. Question 9. The primary purpose of a major medical policy is to A. Fund routine preventive care services primarily. B. Provide protection against excessive medical costs through high policy limits. C. Offer standardized per diem payments for all hospital stays. D. Cover only physician-operated outpatient clinic charges. The correct answer is B. Major medical policies are designed to offer broad coverage with high limits to protect insureds from catastrophic medical expenses. Reason A is not correct. This choice is incorrect because major medical is not focused on routine preventive services. Reason C is not correct. This choice is incorrect because major medical does not limit benefits to per diem hospital payments. Reason D is not correct. This choice is incorrect because major medical covers more than just outpatient clinic charges. Question 10. Which feature best distinguishes a comprehensive major medical plan from a basic hospital expense policy? A. Separate schedules with fixed per-service benefit amounts. B. Integrated deductible and coinsurance for all medical expenses. C. Exclusion of behavioral health treatments. D. Per diem hospital benefit only for inpatient care. The correct answer is B. Comprehensive major medical plans use one deductible and coinsurance structure across services, unlike basic hospital policies which have fixed schedules. Reason A is not correct. This choice is incorrect because separate schedules are a feature of basic policies, not comprehensive policies. Reason C is not correct. This choice is incorrect because behavioral health exclusions are not a defining distinction. Reason D is not correct. This choice is incorrect because per diem benefits characterize basic hospital policies, not comprehensive plans. Question 11. John breaks his wrist in January, resulting in $1,200 of covered medical expenses. In June of the same year, he sprains his ankle, incurring $800 of covered medical expenses. His medical expense policy includes an $800 calendar year deductible and a $500 per cause deductible. Under a per-cause deductible provision, how much will John pay in total deductibles for both claims? A. $500. B. $800. C. $1,000. D. $1,200. The correct answer is C. With a per-cause deductible, each separate injury triggers its own deductible. John pays $500 for the wrist injury and another $500 for the ankle sprain, totaling $1,000. Reason A is not correct. This reflects only one deductible payment instead of applying it to each cause. Reason B is not correct. This matches the calendar year deductible amount rather than two per-cause deductibles. Reason D is not correct. This assumes full payment of one deductible plus full payment of both claim amounts rather than two deductibles only. Question 12. Emily has a health plan with a $1,000 annual deductible and an 80% coinsurance provision after the deductible. This year, she incurs $5,000 of eligible medical expenses. How much will Emily owe in coinsurance after satisfying the deductible? A. $600. B. $800. C. $1,600. D. $3,200. The correct answer is B. After paying the $1,000 deductible, $4,000 remains. With 80% coverage by the insurer, Emily's coinsurance responsibility is 20% of $4,000 or $800. Reason A is not correct. This reflects 15% rather than the correct 20% coinsurance rate on the remaining expenses. Reason C is not correct. This applies 20% to the full $8,000 rather than to the $4,000 left after deductible. Reason D is not correct. This reflects the insurer's 80% share, not the insured's coinsurance portion. Question 13. Sam's PPO plan has a $500 deductible, 20% coinsurance, and a $3,500 out-of-pocket maximum. He has already paid $2,800 toward his deductible and coinsurance this year. In October, he incurs $1,000 of additional covered expenses. Under the out-of-pocket maximum provision, how much will Sam owe for the October expenses? A. $200. B. $700. C. $1,000. D. $800. The correct answer is B. Sam has $700 of out-of-pocket obligation remaining to reach his $3,500 maximum. Once that is paid, the insurer covers 100% of any further covered expenses. Reason A is not correct. This reflects only the 20% coinsurance on the new expense, ignoring the out-of-pocket cap. Reason C is not correct. This assumes no out-of-pocket maximum applies and that the insured covers all expenses. Reason D is not correct. This applies an incorrect coinsurance rate on the full $1,000 rather than limiting to the remaining cap. Question 14. Which of the following describes the primary purpose of a Medicare supplement, Medigap, policy? A. Provide long-term care coverage for services beyond Medicare limits. B. Act as a substitute for Medicare. Part A and Part B by providing a separate indemnity plan. C. Offer prescription drug benefits not covered under any Medicare program. D. Provide coverage for out-of-pocket cost-sharing components of original Medicare, such as coinsurance, copayments, and deductibles. The correct answer is D. Medicare supplement policies are designed to fill gaps in original Medicare by paying cost-sharing amounts like deductibles, copayments, and coinsurance. Reason A is not correct. Long-term care benefits are not included in standard Medigap plans. Reason B is not correct. Medigap does not replace Medicare Parts A or B, but works alongside them to cover cost-sharing. Reason C is not correct. Prescription drug coverage is provided through Medicare Part D, not Medigap policies. Question 15. Under the standardized plan design for Medigap policies, what must all insurers offering the same lettered plan do? A. Charge the same premium for the plan letter regardless of issuer or location. B. Adjust the plan's core benefits to reflect regional healthcare cost variations. C. Vary the cost-sharing structure within the plan letter based on insurer underwriting. D. Provide identical core benefits as defined by federal regulations for that lettered plan. The correct answer is D. Federal rules require that all carriers offering a given Medigap plan letter provide the same standardized core benefits across insurers. Reason A is not correct. Premiums may differ by issuer and geographic area. Benefits remain uniform. Reason B is not correct. Benefit packages cannot be modified by region under the federal standardized design. Reason C is not correct. Cost-sharing terms are fixed by plan letter. Insurers vary only premiums. Question 16. Linda's 65th birthday was May 14th, but she delayed Medicare Part B enrollment until August 1st due to continued employer coverage. She now applies for a Medicare supplement policy. During which period is she guaranteed issue without health underwriting? A. From May 1st to October 31st. B. From June 1st to November 30th. C. From August 1st to January 31st. D. From July 1st to December 31st. The correct answer is C. The Medicare supplement open enrollment period lasts 6 months beginning the first day of the month, when the applicant is both age 65 or older and enrolled in Part B. Linda's Part B effective date was August 1st, so her guaranteed issue period runs from August 1st through January 31st. Reason A is not correct. This period starts too early. The open enrollment cannot begin before enrollment in Part B is effective. Reason B is not correct. This period begins before the applicant is both age 65 and enrolled in Part B, so it's incorrect. Reason D is not correct. Although Linda was 65 by July, her open enrollment must start when Part B coverage actually begins, not the month after turning 65. Question 17. Under the HIPAA definition of a chronically ill individual, what is the minimum number of activities of daily living with which an individual must demonstrate inability to qualify for long-term care insurance benefits? A. Inability to perform one activity of daily living. B. Inability to perform 3 activities of daily living. C. Inability to perform 2 activities of daily living. D. Inability to perform 4 activities of daily living. The correct answer is C. The HIPAA definition requires that an individual be unable to perform at least 2 of the 6 basic activities of daily living for a minimum of 90 days to meet the chronically ill threshold for LTC benefits. Reason A is not correct. A single ADL limitation does not meet the HIPAA chronically ill criterion, which requires multiple impairments. Reason B is not correct. Requiring inability to perform 3 ADLs exceeds the HIP minimum threshold, which is lower. Reason D is not correct. 4. ADL deficiencies is higher than the minimum standard set by HIPAA for long-term care eligibility. Question 18. After a stroke, Rosa exhibits severe memory loss and disorientation. A licensed clinician uses a standardized cognitive assessment and finds that she cannot recall her current location or recognize her daughter. Under a typical long-term care policy's cognitive impairment trigger, Rosa qualifies for benefits because A. Inability to perform 2 or more activities of daily living without assistance from another person. B. Failure to recall 3 unrelated objects after a 5-minute delay in a standardized memory evaluation. C. Demonstration of impaired judgment in managing finances or daily tasks without professional confirmation. D. Loss of orientation to person, place, or time requiring substantial supervision, confirmed by a licensed professional via a standardized cognitive test. The correct answer is D. The correct answer is based on the standard cognitive impairment trigger, which requires loss of orientation, necessitating substantial supervision, validated by a licensed professional using a standardized cognitive test. Reason A is not correct. This describes an activities of daily living trigger rather than a cognitive impairment trigger. Reason B is not correct. Isolated memory recall failure without need for supervision does not meet the policy's orientation and supervision criteria. Reason C is not correct. Impaired judgment alone, without formal confirmation of orientation deficits by a professional, does not satisfy the cognitive impairment trigger. Question 19. Within a group health insurance plan, which of the following accurately distinguishes the role of the master contract from that of the certificate of coverage? A. The certificate of coverage outlines the legal agreement between the insurer and plan sponsor. and the master contract evidences coverage for employees. B. The master contract establishes rights between the insurer and the employer group, while the certificate provides evidence of coverage to individual members. C. The master contract is provided to each covered person as proof of benefits, while the certificate sets forth the plan sponsor's obligations. D. The certificate of coverage governs premium payment terms between the insurer and employer, whereas the master contract specifies individual covered benefits. The correct answer is B. The group master contract is the legal agreement binding the insurer and the plan sponsor, whereas the certificate of coverage is issued to eligible individuals as proof of their benefits under that contract. Reason A is not correct. This reverses the functions. The certificate is for individual members and the master contract is between insurer and sponsor. Reason C is not correct. The master contract is not issued to each person, and the certificate does not define sponsor obligations. Reason D is not correct. Premium terms are detailed in the master contract, and the certificate describes the benefits available to members. Question 20. A small manufacturing firm offers a group health plan under which employees pay 15% of the total premium through payroll deductions. Enrollment is voluntary for eligible staff. Which of the following best describes this plan and its requirements? A. A contributory plan that requires at least 75% of eligible employees to enroll to prevent adverse selection. B. A non-contributory plan that enrolls all eligible employees automatically since the employer pays the entire premium. C. A contributory plan that does not impose any minimum participation threshold because employees share premium costs. D. A non-contributory plan that must enroll 100% of eligible employees to prevent adverse selection. The correct answer is A. The plan requires employees to contribute to the premium, classifying it as a contributory plan. To mitigate adverse selection, contributory group plans typically require a minimum of 75% employee enrollment. Reason B is not correct. The plan is not non-contributory and automatic enrollment applies only when the employer pays the full premium. Reason C is not correct. Contributory plans do impose a minimum participation threshold to guard against adverse selection. Reason D is not correct. The plan is not non-contributory and non-contributory plans do not require 100% enrollment to prevent adverse selection. Enjoyed this practice test? Tap like, hit subscribe, and share it with a classmate. Got a question we should tweak? Comment below. We read them all. Find full practice exam books in the description or at ExamPrep.School.